All right.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Twigs and Rigs. My name is Jacob Golopale, and here's my co-host Solomon Thistle. Say
Yeah.
hi, Solomon.
What's up, everybody?
All right, so very exciting day, first episode. Today we're gonna get into the best breakout player, best ad, best worst loss, make or break, players to watch, and the MVP for each team so far through this year. And we're going to start with the Metropolitan Division. But first, we're going to start out with some introductions. Um, I am, as I said, Jacob Golopali. I'm a sophomore at Temple University. I played hockey growing up. You can follow my TikTok channel, Jacob G71. It's where I've gotten most of my content out and to people. We also have a YouTube channel for the same reasons. It's everything hockey. So I think if you're listening to this and you love hockey, you enjoy the content. I think we make it very entertaining, very fun, very easy to listen to, and very educational. So I'm going to turn it over to Solomon to introduce himself.
Yo, what's up, boyos? Also a junior. I'm a junior. Well, he's a sophomore. I'm a junior at Temple, sport management major. I'd never played ice hockey, but I got into it when I was in like fourth grade. Big Flyers fan. My favorite sport, easily. Love playing on my feet. Don't know how to rollerblade, but it is what it is. So, yeah, I'm excited to talk to Jacob about hockey and looking forward to comments and suggestions on what to talk about and different stuff you guys want to hear.
Absolutely. And it is a family friendly channel. But it is going to be very entertaining. I will say that. So don't think it's going to be just, very dry. It should be very fun.
Yeah.
So Solomon, get into a little bit about what we're going to be doing today.
So we're going to take a look at the Metro division. It's the division we're probably most familiar with. Our favorite teams are in it. And we're going to be looking at the MVPs for each team, the breakout, star, the best addition, their worst loss as a player, make or break player, and player to watch. So
All right. So I think we should jump right into it. Um, we should start with, let's start off with the hot team. Let's start off with a team that, people were sleeping on a lot over the last few years. The New Jersey Devils. Now, Solomon and I actually got to go watch them live at the Prudential Center last week, and it was phenomenal. Thank you to the Devils. If anybody from the Devils represent are listening, it was a phenomenal experience. We really enjoyed it. Thank you for everything. We'd love to stay in contact, and we can't wait to talk to you guys soon. Phenomenal team, Solomon. What did you take away from that game? They played the Blackhawks, shut them out. It was an absolute Harlem Globetrotter performance by them.
I don't know. I just thought it was they're they just know how to play as a team. Uh, you know, Jacob, we've talked about a million times, my Flyers and how they lack so many different things. And it's just with the Devils, it's dude, you have a few guys you can give the puck to and really get an opportunity with. I mean, there are underrated guys like Haula, Eric Haula, he plays well with Jack Hughes from what I saw in that game. You still don't have Andre Palat, but this team just plays so well together. Dougie Hamilton does a great job getting involved offensively. He had a goal and 2 assists or something. Jack Hughes is crazy though. He's so dynamic. The way he skates, opens up lanes and stuff like that. I don't know. Then Nico has such a nice shot. We talked about Miles Wood. I like Miles Wood a lot, but they just play so well as a team, And then we were talking when it was what 2-3-0. They were just kind of trying a bunch of fancier plays. They were moving the puck around. They weren't just ripping shots, going for rebounds and stuff. So they
Right.
know what they're doing. They're just a well-oiled machine. I'm honestly surprised though with how well they're doing from this year. Because last year, it's they had most of the same guys, but then I guess you get a goalie, Vanacek, and he's playing out of his mind. So, it is what it is, but very entertaining team, to be honest.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think they're a phenomenal team of young guys, and I think that's really hard to keep track of when all these guys are still coming into their own. I'm looking at the lineup now. These are the young guys they have. They have Jack Hughes, Nico Heishier, Jesper Bratt, Dawson Mercer, Sharon Govich, Woods, Zetterlund, McLeod, Ryan Graves, John Marino, Bastion, Boquist, Ball. They have Holtz. Um, Andreas Janssen. They have a lot of young talent. And the thing is, when this young talent is coming in, night out, trying new things, trying to come into their own in the league, you can't stop them when they're out there just experimenting. That's what the young guys do. And they have the endurance, they have the willingness to just try stuff. And that was very evident that they were and they understand each other so well, like you were saying. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's really impressive. So we'll jump into it now. Let's go with who was your breakout player to this point?
So breakout, I think, I don't know. We did this a little bit ago. I still didn't edit it, but as I go along, I can definitely edit.
Yeah, same.
Breakout, I think he had a good season last year, but like, I don't know. I think his importance to the team is definitely going to be like even more this year. I think Jesper Bratt.
Interesting.
I don't
Interesting.
know.
Yeah. Jesper
Like Bratt.
Bratt led their team in points last year.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say I was thinking him or Jack Hughes, but those guys are more, the guys that you hear about all the time, from the New Jersey
Yeah.
Devils. But yeah, no, yeah, Jesper Bratt is breaking out as he normally is. I think more breaking out to the league as being, one of those guys that you can rely on. So
Yeah.
for me, I had Nico Heishier. Now, Nico Heishier has 29 points in 28 games. Um, ever since he came into the league, everybody's been comparing him and Nolan Patrick to the guys that were drafted after him. Because of course, you have and Solomon's a little upset because his boys took
annoying.
Nolan Patrick over a couple guys you may have heard of, Elias Pettersson, and currently the greatest defenseman in the league and could honestly be a top 10 defenseman of all time.
If
So
Nolan Patrick isn't a bust, Claude Drew's on the team. We made the playoffs. Just saying.
true, true, true. And if you pick Kale McCarr, I guarantee you guys never even crest below the third seed. So it's rough for him. But point being, Nico Heischer has been compared to like McCarr and Patterson when it comes to, what he's supposed to live up to, especially being a first overall pick. There's a lot to live up to. And it's been a rough road, but averaging a point per game to this point, is really something that I'm looking at and thinking, wow, okay, he might be starting to come into his own. And if that's the case, they can really ride with that. With a first overall pick, obviously, we had a lot of talent, a lot of skill, a lot of moldability coming into the league. It's good for him to start coming into his own and finding a way here. And that's something that I find very interesting. So
Yeah.
next up,
Yeah,
best ad. Who do you think the best ad is?
for them, I know they added Andre Palat from Tampa Bay, and so I'm not familiar with anybody else who they added, but I think he's just the most important. He's going to be the most impactful, to be honest. I mean, they're already rolling, and has he even played a game yet? Like,
Let's see. I think he has a few points. He's played 5 games.
yeah. So I mean, wait for him to mesh into it. And it's just like another, great forward to have for secondary scoring. You can even put him in the bottom 6 because your top 6 is like so nice, and you don't want to screw up everything you have going. So it's just like another dependable guy that you can be like, all right, he's out in the ice, we can trust him and shit. So it's pretty important.
Yeah, no, for sure. He's also a 2-time champ, you
Yeah.
know. He's a 2-time champ. So he's got a lot of experience. He's been to the cup 3 times now. So, he's got a lot of experience. He can help these young guys out, get their minds on track to what they're supposed to be, really develop them into a championship team. I think from the back end, one of those guys that comes in and has a lot of experience and can bring a team up, from the ground up when it comes to, leadership wise. Because on that team, they're very young and all their best players are young. So, they're not really led by a superstar that's older.
Yeah.
So a guy like Dougie Hamilton, he's a little older, but it's a little different. He didn't have a whole lot of success in the two places that he was, so he's a little bit different background. But I said my best ad was Eric Holla. Now, when Solomon and I went to the game, they had moved Jack Hughes to wing, and they made Eric Holla the first line center. If they could do that, that's something that's really need to be. That's something you could really look forward to. Like that's something I find
Mhm.
very, very, very interesting. He's averaging 16 minutes a game. He's he's a very dynamic player, and the thing is, he's a great two-way player.
Yeah. He's a
It's kind of
solid
like
top six dude.
exactly. The thing is, I think a lot about what they're doing with him is a lot like what Vegas did with Chandler Stevenson. Chandler Stevenson was a third line center with the Capitals his whole career. So coming in and then being the number one guy over a guy like, William Carlson, it says something and it shows that they know something. Um, if
Yeah.
if Eric Holla can take the reins defensively and still chip in on offense with guys with his line mates, Hughes and Bratt, I think that ad will be significant for them because when Vegas picked up Chandler Stevenson, they didn't really think too much of it. So, but now look at him, so it's like it could really end up being, something great for them.
Yeah.
All right. Worst loss. Who'd you have?
So when we first did this, I thought it was like against a team, and I was like, "Oh, Capitals," because I think they got shut out or something early in the season, and I was like, "All right." But for worst loss, I don't know. I mean, I guess I would have to just go with like Zaka in the trade for Hollow, but like it doesn't, it doesn't really matter. I feel like they didn't really lose anybody that was big that at least I'm aware of at the moment.
I think Ty Smith when they traded him
Oh,
to Pittsburgh. I think Ty
right.
Smith was an interesting loss because look, Ty Smith really is one of the most creative young defensemen when it comes to skill in the league. Now, yes, he had a
Yeah.
lot of defensive problems with them, but they have defensive defensemen. They have Jonas Siegenthaler, they have Ryan Graves, Dougie Hamilton is a phenomenal defender. Who else do they have here? They got Damian Severson. They have good defensemen to where a developing young team, it's okay for a guy like Ty Smith to take risks on offense to be phenomenal. Um, and take a step back on defense when you're outscoring everybody. The defense can take a little bit of a day off every now and then. So obviously, I really, as a Penguins fan, I didn't think I said anything about that earlier, but yeah, as a Penguins fan, I'm gonna miss John Marino because he was a defensive defenseman, and that's why the Devils picked him up. But like teams are looking for a guy like Ty Smith. Like you can go out there in the market and find any guy, who can shut down people. Penguins have a guy named Chad Ruedel who's literally just a shutdown defenseman. You guys have a couple shutdown defensemen. Like
I'd
you,
say like,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
you can pick them up anywhere, but you can't find a guy like Ty Smith just anywhere. That skill transcends, the league. So, yeah. Um,
yeah. That was a good
yeah.
one.
Oh, we gotta keep moving. We still got three more for this team.
Yeah.
Make or break. Who is your make or break?
My make or break is I think it's just Jack Hughes. Yeah, I think he's just the focal point of the offense. When you take him out, they still have some nice solid pieces like Heischer, Hollow we talked about. They still have Dougie and stuff, but it's just like Hughes is the guy that opens up every seam. He opens up a lot of opportunities. His passing is crazy. His shot, um, he's just so dynamic. I think the offense kind of runs through him in many ways. I mean, like it's not like they're not a team or anything. I'm just saying, like I think it kind of rides on him, and you can even say like, for goalie, you can say it rides on VTech. Like that's really important. Like this team, because like you're coming back with like majority of the same team from last year. It's just that you have a goalie that's playing well, so it's like that can also be your make or break. But I see Jack as like a focal point of the offense. I don't know.
That's very valid. That's very valid. Yeah, no, you're totally right because he's so important to the team that they had him out there for a 6-minute shift
Yeah,
very
that's
recently. So,
crazy.
yeah, that's
NHL
unbelievable.
record.
He did that. But so I see what you mean by that. He's definitely a focal point of the offense, but I think my make or break is the goaltending. Vitek Vanacek was a backup in Washington, and Mackenzie Blackwood is not looking like the guy he used to.
Mhm.
This team has studs up and down the lineup. This team looks phenomenal. Yes, Vitek's playing well, but if he doesn't keep that up, they're done. There's nothing they can do about it. They need good goaltending because the rest of the team is doing everything they possibly can. Vitek's playing phenomenal, and that's why they're getting the results. But as soon as he dips, the whole team's gonna dip. They're a young team. I don't know how well they'll do with, you know, continuous scrutiny when it comes to their scoring. They're a young team. I can totally see them getting down on themselves when they go down by like 3 early sometimes if their goaltender's having a bad game. That can really
Yeah.
ruin them, even if they do have the ability to come back. It's all about mindset with these young guys. So um, I think goaltending is going to be a make or break, especially for a young squad like that.
It's a good one.
Player to watch. Who is your player to watch?
I think it's very interesting. So I'm gonna go with see, you can look at, Holtz. You can look at him for a player to watch, but I think it's just interesting the dynamic and like the I don't know what we know about Tomas Tatar. Because it's just like I feel like he's underrated. Like I think he played well when we were there. I liked his game. He had some decent opportunities. He still has a shot on him. He's not like a dynamic guy, but it's like he's a guy that can score. He can pass the puck well, can move it. Um, I don't know. I just think that from going and being in Montreal, being benched in the Stanley Cup final, and then just like kind of being in Vegas and stuff like that, like I don't know, he's under the radar and he can play a good role. So I think that'll be interesting because I think he's maybe on the last year of his contract or something, like they maybe signed him or something. So it's like going to be interesting if he plays well, probably going to go to make some cap room for maybe a Bill Horvat. I don't know. Or like, I don't know. But, you know, I just think that that'd be interesting watching Tomas kind of revive
Absolutely.
himself.
Absolutely. I agree with that. I think he's flown under the radar. And just like a few years ago, this guy was making highlight reel plays in Detroit. So,
Yeah.
we still got that dog in him. We still got that dog in him. People don't know about it. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Jaeger Sharangovich. Jaeger Sharangovich, let's see here. This kid shoots everything. Everything that touches this guy, he shoots. He's a great goal scorer. We were there, and at warmups, this kid was ripping bar downs every shot. He was absolutely sniping it. He's a phenomenal player, and the thing is, he's so versatile. You can move him 1 through 4, literally 1 through 4 line. So
Yeah.
that's something that's very valuable, and I think that he's going to get to play with every single player on the team. He's going to get to play with everybody. Being able to be versatile 1 through 4. So that means when he hits his stride, he's going to break out with no matter who's in the lineup. Despite injuries, he'll be able to stay consistent because he's been able to play with all these guys throughout the year. So no matter where they put him in the lineup, he's going to excel, making him the most consistent and the player to watch.
And I think something interesting, Andreas Janssen. I didn't even know he was on the Devils because he's only played one game this year. I forgot he was on the Devils.
Right.
He could be a player to watch too. I mean, yeah. So Tatar's got 4.5, 1 year left. They got a lot of UFAs. They got Sharangovich, they got Halleck, they got Wood, they got Janssen, they got Tatar, they got Michael McLeod, Jesper Boquist. Oh, geez. So they're gonna Severson, Ryan Graves. They're gonna have to do a lot. So I just think it'll be interesting with all those contracts too. That's what I'm thinking.
Absolutely. And your MVP?
MVP. Gonna go with Jack Hughes.
Jack Hughes. Okay. All right.
I was thinking Brad, but I was like, you know what?
Hey, that's exactly where I was going. I had Hughes as well.
Yeah, I just think, it's just too important. With everything I said earlier,
Absolutely.
it would be kind of funny to go, oh yeah, just for Brad.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think it's Hughes. Everything
Got you.
man.
So, all right.